Welcome back, engineers, to another episode of Automated. Today we're tackling level 4 high voltage Tropic Thunder, where we're going to engineer our way to a 5-star solution. Now let's have a look at what this level is all about. We're trying to make this HV transformer, which is a new material we haven't worked with before. There's a couple of different recipes. Let's see which one looks slightly easier. They both look painfully difficult. Man, can we make this like bigger? Because I kind of need to figure out what I'm doing before we can even start the build. There we go. That's bigger. That's better because I can actually see what's going on now. So if we switch the recipes, the top part doesn't change. Only the bottom part changes. We can either make it out of iron or we can make it out of copper. So we can decide that at the very end. Before we make that, we need 60 per minute, 120 per minute of that to get 60 per minute. Let's have a quick look. How do I put this back into the corner? Let's have a look quickly at how many we actually need to make. We only need to make 20 in a minute 20. So if we can make one advanced cutter, making 60 per minute should theoretically be more than enough to deal with all of this. Now, this split is going to be pretty crazy. Look at these materials. They're all coming out of 3 nodes, but they're coming out at this insane rate, 600 per minute. Fair enough. So we only have the basic materials, so we're going to need to squeeze in all of the machinery. So let's start putting in our stuff to see what we're looking at, right? So we need an advanced cutter at the very end, something like that, right? I'm not even going to put in any belts for now. So we can decide what we're going to do with that later, but at the very least, we're going to need a manufacturer putting together the LV transformer, which is 60 per minute. So we're going to need a manufacturer. The manufacturer is going to have 3 inputs. The first input to being this from a furnace, and a cutter. So let's just put in our 2 furnaces. Doesn't matter where we put it for now. And our cutter. Right, and then to make this, we've got a bunch of alternate recipes. So this is fixed, but this one might be able to be simplified. Simplified to what though? Nothing here changes. We can put it into a furnace to make 30 per minute, or we can put it into an advanced press to make 60 per minute, all right? And we've got different ways to make this material. We can make it all out of copper, which looks a lot simpler. Do we have wood? We do. So we need wood to make this, iron to make this, iron to make this, copper. And all we have is wood, iron, and copper. So let's do a little bit of a number test. So if we were to go with this recipe, this is going in at 120 and 60 to make this. To make 60 of this, we need 120 of this, which is fine. To make 120 of this, we're going to need 2 advanced presses or 4 furnaces. No. We would want 2 advanced presses. I'm going to get rid of all this now. All right, so 2 advanced presses would make the 120 that we need of this. Then, to make that, we would need 120 of this, which means we need double both of these. 240 copper. We have 240 copper. We have 360, leaving us with 120 copper, which is more than enough to make this. Great. And the rest of this recipe just requires wood to be furnaced, wood to be furnaced. To make 120 of this, that just comes out at 120. This comes out at 60 out of the furnace, so that's all fine. We just need 120 iron, which we have way more than enough iron, and we just need 60 of each wood. All right, cool. I think we're good in terms of input. They've given us all the input we need to do this any which way, so I guess we can just pick a way to do it, and then we'll just roll with it. So the copper is definitely down there, so we need to bring the copper up here. Now, is it better to do this using no copper? No, either way, whatever recipe we use will require copper, so it doesn't change the travel time. So if we press and furnace this, we can get what we need, right? Let's just start working out of this. We need our splitters. I think if we split it into 3 belts of 120 at the start, that would be easier because it's 360, right? That makes a lot more sense. Then from here, we need 2 belts of 60, 1 to be pressed and 1 to be furnaced. So I'm going to split it off here. And just to future-proof it, I might just do the split like this. That way we leave room for whatever is needed over here, right? One to be furnace, one to be pressed. So we need a furnace and a press. The furnace can just be placed right here. The press can be maybe placed right here. There's our 120 and our 60, and both of these need to go now into an advanced cutter, like that. And that gets us our 60 of this. Then that goes into an advanced press, like that. And that just gets us our 60. But we need 2 of these. So we need to do this again. Yeah, because we need 120 of this. But do we need 120 of this? Because we only need to deliver 20, and this is making 60, and we have 1:20 to deliver it. So maybe we'll just go with half the output for now and see how that goes. So we've got 60 per minute, we need 120, so we're going to do this at half the output. Let's work on the next one. We need to furnace the wood, and here we need to furnace the wood as well. So we might as well do both of those at the same time. I'm going to just split this like such. Oh, this is a little bit annoying where the wood's positioned. We might want to turn this first. I'm going to get rid of this stuff. So we might want to do something like this, because we need to furnace the wood twice, right? So we need to do something like this. That gets us our coal for this part of the process, and then we need to mix the coal with iron in a welder. So like, say I'm going to put it here. This needs a lot of room to split. If I split it in 3, that gets me 3 belts of 200. 600 is such an awkward number to split. We need to like split it into 10 belts. But we don't need that much iron, right? We just need 120 iron out of 1 for this process, and then 120 for the other process, and we don't need iron ever again. In that case, I'm just going to split it into 2 belts of 300. That way 1 can go into here, 1 can go into here, and that gets our 60 per minute of that, which goes into a cutter, which gets us our 120 per minute of that, of which we only need 60, so that's fine. Then our last process just needs the coal and that in a welder this time, which is like basically the same thing. If you're enjoying the video and you want to support Data Engineer Plays, don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. And if you have any feedback or suggestions, feel free to share them in the comment section. 1 tile should be enough. And that way we've got room here to do stuff. I put it 2 tiles down. That way I can do something like this and use an elevator. Like that. And there. And for now we'll just dirty belt it around like this. We'll try to optimize this elevator in a bit. But that gets us our 60 of this, which just needs to be furnaced. Oh god. Alright, it needs to be furnaced. But then ultimately, all 3 of these need to be mixed into a manufacturer. So let me just place a manufacturer here for now. We'll get 1 input there. We should be able to fit a furnace like that. And then we just need to get this thing in, which is not particularly difficult. We just need that, and then that should fit in nicely here. That's the wrong height. Go up 1 more. And in theory, that should just fit in nicely here. And there it is, our 30 per minute of this. And if we get 60 per minute of this, which is basically just a press, then we can just mix both of those inside an advanced cutter, like here. Yeah, that would work, right? If I put that in there, and then I like raise this up, then we draw this around the back and in like that, that gets us our high voltage item that we need. And then we just need to like send it, like obviously this is the most inefficient solution ever, but it will help us learn what needs to be done. So if we did that, we can now deliver this into here. And theoretically, I don't see why we can't make 20 in 1:20. I mean, we need to make it in 50 seconds. And we've made 1. Oh, it's so slow. Barely made it in time. But hey, it works. 1:20.4. That's terrible. But we need to get it much, much faster. To To do it in 50 seconds or less, we basically need to do it double speed, right? In terms of used power, we don't get to go on the leaderboard because we didn't complete it within the time constraint. That's fine. Judging by the leaderboard and the space usage, it looks pretty much like we're going to be using all the power and space. That's fine. So let's redo the level. So we know this is not actually fast enough. We actually do need the full output, right? So let's work on that. I'm almost thinking the final advanced press should be like here, right? If the final advanced press is here, then we can bring this up. Then we don't need to do that or that. And this will need 2 presses, right? Here. So we're almost guaranteed we need a second press out here. And once these are pressed, they should be able to go in as one input. That's our 120. Now we need to make our 60 of that, but we're only making 30 because we got lazy on this thing. So we need a second of this thing. Oh, interesting. Does that mean we don't have enough copper for this process? Because we got 360, we need 1 belt, 1 belt. That makes the 120 we need. And then we need another 120. Oh, no. We're fine. Let's get rid of this. I'm miscalculating. What we need is another one of these processes. So I'm going to try to squeeze it in as much as I can here. So let's say we do something like that, right? Now we need to fit in a press. Say like here. No, that's not going to work. But we can fit in a furnace, say like here. And then we can fit in our press, say like here. Furnace and press coming out like that means it can directly go into an advanced cutter, right? Like that. Then the advanced cutter can directly go into an advanced press. Like that. And there's our 120 of this. So now if we put in our lift, say here, we should be able to belt that in and belt that in. There's our 120. Sorry, our lift needs to be the right height. There's our 120. And now see how we've all of a sudden gotten our 60? Now we haven't done this thing yet, which tells me all of this should be on this side if we're going to put the final output there. But that's fine. If we can get this down to here. Oh man, that's such a slow thing, but that's fine. We're not worried about speed for now. Let's just get it working first. So we need to split this, and then it needs to go into 2 presses. Like this. Then that can go into here, and that can go into here. And there's your 120. And then we just need to bring this down, right? This is really inefficient, but don't worry about it. We'll fix up the positioning of all the machines down the track. We're just trying to work out this is the correct recipe for everything right now. So we did that. Oh man, that's nowhere near the right height. That's the right height apparently. So we should be able to do like that. That's nowhere near the right height. What? That's the right height. We should be able to do like that, which brings that down. This elevator isn't happy. Now it's happy, and that gets us our 60 per minute of what we need, which we should just be able to take out into there now. Like that. And that should be a working system. Obviously, in terms of our power, we're way over, and we're just testing if this is enough to complete it in 50 seconds. Obviously, if it's close to 50 seconds, that means it will, like when I optimize my machines to get them kicked off faster. Because look how long it takes this to get going. We've wasted most of our 50 seconds waiting for this thing to get going. But we're getting there. We're on the right track, I think. We've made the leaderboard now. We finished it under time. But to get to 55 seconds, we've got a long way to go. So let's continue tinkering. Now, obviously, the biggest inefficiency in our system is that this manufacturer that's making the LV transformer as to transport the LV transformer all the way over here to make the HV transformer. Ideally, we'd like the HV transformer to just be made on site. So let's remove this because I doubt this is going to go here. Can we turn the manufacturer the other way? And can we make this a little bit better? So if we get rid of all the crap over here, let's just redo this and try to create space here. And to do that, we might need to change this, how this works. So we're going to turn this. And we're going to, no, this doesn't work that way. Because I want to put one like here, right? And then I want to put the other one like here would make sense. It uses extra belts here. That's a little bit unnecessary. But unfortunately, we need the space. And they need to go into welders. That's the main problem. So I put my welder. Oh man, that's an issue too. If we can get this design nice and tight, that'll be good. We can do a little hack like this. That way we can put this back here. And how do you get this around? Well, you can belt around the back like that. That's a nice little cheat. Now this needs to go around the back this way to get our first set of steel. And now we need a second welder. What is this connected to? Nothing. So our second welder needs to be like here, which means then we can bring this out that way. And if we bring it like that, we should be able to connect our two welders like this. This is not the most optimal thing ever. Why does it hate this? There we go. There's our second belt of steel. Now with these two belts of steel, they need to be cut. Why did I need two belts of steel? Have I gone crazy? We've got our 120 power cables down there. We needed one belt of steel to make into steel sheets. So one of these needs to be cut like that. There's our steel sheets, and our second bunch of steel needs to be furnaced. So I'll do my cut here, and then we'll do our furnace, say here, right? Then that's all of our materials. Now we can get rid of all of this mess. Then we can clearly see where we can put a manufacturer. So the manufacturer is going to make this, and then go into an advanced cutter. So at the end, we're going to need some sort of advanced cutter like that, right? And one of the inputs for the advanced cutter is going to be a manufacturer like that. Two of the inputs for the manufacturer are going to be that and that. That's nice and efficient. And the third input is going to be that. So that's already a lot better. Now, if only we can get this up here in the most efficient way possible, we can bring it in like that. And I know this is not the most efficient way possible, but we're iterating. It's all about iteration. This is like, you know, when you're programming, you got to like write some code, test it, and then you refactor it to make it more efficient. There. This is a working system. Let's see how fast this system works. And then we can worry about efficiency. We're definitely over for power, right? 470. Yeah, we can definitely do this a lot better. But in terms of time, I think we're there. There you go. There's our fourth start. Now we just need to do the same system, but with a lot less belts. That puts us at top 16 already. Amazing. But we got to do it with a lot less belts now, because we are not up there for power. Where can we optimize our belts? It's this belt. If we can get rid of this belt somehow, life would be a lot better. I think this is okay. It's just this giant belt that's bringing it up. Like let's just pretend to remove this entire belt. That's still way too much. What's the alternate recipe for this side of things? Instead of using the copper, if we just cut the iron, that would be a lot better. So instead of this mess, if we can just take one more bit of iron and cut it, then life would be fantastic. Which theoretically can very easily be able to be achieved. Let's remove that so I can see. So instead of splitting the iron in two, we basically just need to split the iron in three, right? And nothing else changes except I need to maybe move this out one tile. Cut it here, that stays the same. This stays the same. And now we just need a cutter here. And that gets us our iron pipes that we need. And then instead of that, we just need to put the iron pipes into here, which we have enough for an elevator. Like that. Like that. And then if we just did that, that's already saving a lot less belt. 30 per minute. And we're under power. Is that it? Don't tell me that's it. No, that's not it. We didn't get the 50 seconds or less. That took 1 minute and 7 seconds. Why is it so slow now? We got the power, it just took so long. I need to observe again what caused the slowness. The LV transformer. Something to do with this is now suddenly way slower. Because this was producing it faster before. Why would that have slowed it down? Because this is faster than whatever was happening down the bottom. That's so weird. Something is weird. Wait a minute. We're using the wrong bloody recipe. There's an advanced furnace recipe that produces 120. So if we use a welder, it uses that, but an advanced furnace can turn the same material, 60 and 60, into 120. What? I'm an idiot. That's cheating. That just means I just need that and that. Does that mean I don't even need 2 burners? I don't need 2 advanced furnaces for this. What am I doing? Oh my god. Alright. But then that just means I need that and then an advanced furnace. It's like way bigger. It's way bigger, but that doesn't matter, right? Because isn't this better? 120. But then I need splitters and such. But I can do the splitters like here, right? And then from here I just need a cutter and a burner. God. Tinkering with the wrong recipe is a thing. So we put a cutter here, for example, and then a burner here. We'll optimize this in a little bit. Then that in there. That gets us our low voltage thing. And then our high voltage thing can just do what we were doing before. So I'm just going to put one here for now because I need the space, but we'll optimize it in a bit. Because we do need a cutter. And then that. Is that faster? It definitely uses less power. God, it's just finding the right recipes. It's sitting at ages tinkering with all the wrong recipes. But this is really slow as well. It's faster, but not fast enough. Why is this producing so slowly? 30 per minute. Advanced cutter. Advanced cutter. Oh, I see. Okay, I see. So this thing produces it at 60 per minute, and hence that's why we needed all of that stuff. So instead of doing this way, we needed the thing. Because the recipe for this is twice as fast. Now I understand. Because this is producing at 60 per minute. I see. I'm an idiot. So we do need the other bit of copper. So if we can optimize this press process, which we need 2 presses. So we need to split this here, and then we need 2 presses. So like 1 here, and like maybe 1 here. Then we need to join these 2 presses, and just bring it into here. Like that. Then we're making 60 per minute. That's what we're doing wrong. Now that should get us the time, but I think I'm using no, we're under power as well. Oh my god, so this thing was just about picking the right bloody recipes and stuff. And that puts us number 7 in the world. God, I'm an idiot. But yes, look, we got our 5 stars. At the end of the day, we got number 7 in our time ranking. Our power is number 12. And our space is number 19. We can't be unhappy about that. Let's have a look at some of the other people's 5-star solutions. Not many things in the gallery. 406 power. Someone uploaded their 406 power 43 second 379 space one. Wow. Yes, they're using the advanced furnace thing as well. They're bringing the coal all the way out to the right first. and then it's being, yeah, this is the same as my design, basically. Their one is directly behind, that's fine. This is the same as my design. It's just an optimized version of my design, basically. Yeah, but amazing. So we've definitely done it the right way. So the trick was to pick the right recipes, right? It debated you with this welder thing. If you use an advanced furnace, you actually can skip an entire part of the tree because the advanced furnace over here can produce 120, and therefore you don't even need to do this twice, right? You don't need two welders, basically. You just need one advanced furnace to produce the 120. Then you split it, and then you furnace and cut it, make your thing, make this thing that way. And then down here, we have to use the copper recipe because that gets us our 60 per minute. Because if you use the iron recipe, it's half the speed. So that sorts out all of those problems. Here is the solution, and I'm sure you guys can optimize it even further. All right.